I'm Just a Kid is more known than Simple Plan now. It's crazy, right? Like my daughter's 18, she would have friends over, and they're all asking me like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, well, I'm in the music industry, but they don't really know until my daughter's like, easy, I'm just a kid guy.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, really?
What's up, friends? It's your girl, Emily Curl, back here at our iHeartRadio studios in New York City. And today we're joined by Jeff and Sebastian from Simple Plan. Can we show some love for Jeff and Sebastian in our studio?
Oh my God, everyone. Thank you.
Everyone.
Thanks for having us.
We are so happy to have you guys here. Like we were just saying, this is a huge time for y'all. It's the 25th anniversary of the band.
Yes.
You have a new documentary out, a new soundtrack album out. I mean, things are happening. How does it feel for you guys to still be here celebrating 25 years of Simple Plan?
It's so good. It's like, first of all, we are horrible at celebrating landmarks in our career. We never did. And on, 25 years is so much, it's such a big deal that we felt like, let's do something special. But then it's like, what do we do? A party? What is it, And we were like, well, we need new music, but we also need to sort of like, kind of, think about the past as well, think about the future, kind of find a thing. And we got approached to do this documentary, and we felt like, okay, this is it. This is what we need to do. But it's a bigger endeavor than we expected, that's for sure.
Right, because this is, reading about this, I mean, the documentary is called The Kids in the Crowd. It was out yesterday. I'm not sure when this is going to go live, but it's out right now, so you got to go watch it. It's out now. And you guys said this was like a 2-year process, right, of sourcing back all of these things.
Did you know it was going to take 2 years?
I didn't know. Honestly, it was a long process. I think the whole thing started in the fall of 23, I believe. That's when the decisions to make a documentary started, and then we got followed on the road for a whole year, and then obviously editing is a nightmare because I believe we had, with all the archives that we had, they narrowed it down to 400 hours of good stuff.
That is insane.
Because our archives are,
400 hours.
the archives are just insane. Like, we have so much stuff, and that's probably the richest part of the documentary. It's the fact that obviously the four of us have a different recollection of what happened over the last 25 years, but the archives are right. They set the record straight. It's all there, it's filmed, so you can't deny it.
What was the thing that surprised you the most watching this back where you're like, oh, I remembered this part differently?
I think I kind of forgotten the negative elements of struggling in the early days about being too pop for punk or being too punk for pop. And seeing it like all in line and everybody talking about how they went through that, like choosing to go on tour with Avril instead of choosing to go on tour with a punk rock band and try to make our own way and all of that. Like there was a lot of back and forth in our decision making back then. And obviously things worked out for us, which is great. Like the story has a good ending, but I didn't remember quite how difficult we had it back then.
How crazy. The other thing that struck me too was the story of I'm Just a Kid, a song that we all know and love, that it wasn't, when you first released it, it didn't have the effect.
It was a flop. No, it
which
was
is
huge
insane.
Flop. I know, right?
Because now that song is still a part of the cultural zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Well, basically, yeah, it's sort of a mainstream thing now, Like, I would say that I'm Just a Kid is more known than Simple Plan now. It's crazy, right? Like my daughter's 18, she would have friends over, and they're all asking me like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, well, I'm in the music industry, but they don't really know until my daughter's like, easy, I'm just a kid guy. And then they're like, no, really? It's kind of crazy.
Wow, so you feel like, okay, so this next generation is kind of rediscovering all of these.
100%.
Yeah.
It's all, that song is like having a hit, like 25 years later with a song that really, you didn't have much expectations for it, right? So when it came out, we shot a big video for it.
Big budget.
Big budget video. We had like super high hopes, and nothing happened.
Why do you think that was at the time? Because this song is still like, what do you attribute it to at that time? It just wasn't ready for that sound?
Context, I guess. Yeah, it's like
we were complete unknowns. Obviously, first album, first single. It's like it's gonna hit or it's not. Like a lot of people were saying that pop punk was gonna die. Back then we're like on the tail end of that wave. Like hurry out, put out the album. So like we put out the song. I don't know.
Well,
what happened.
It's the power of the song. It says a lot. Like even like 25 years later, it found a way into the consciousness. I thought a lot about the Plain White Tees as well. Like with Delilah, that song was out for so long, and then it was such a great song that it found its way into people's hearts. It's funny how that goes, right? It's basically you're always one song away from being the biggest band in the world, but you have to write that song.
Wow.
Wow.
I also thought it was interesting to see like the home footage of like you guys recording in a basement and like
Literally, like, yeah.
Right, and then that song was going to go on to be heard by millions of people, have millions of, it's like, can you even comprehend going back, watching that? It's one thing to remember because you lived it, but to go back and watch those moments when you're sitting there, you're reliving this, what's going through your mind?
We didn't know, like obviously you can't see into the future, and I think, we all had big dreams and like hoping one day stadiums and around the world and all of that, but really it's just like, let's just make it to the next show, let's try to get a record deal, hopefully we'll get to make an album, hopefully we'll have a video. It's just like these little steps all the way, and that's all you could actually kind of focus on as it was happening. So it was kind of a big surprise. Now 25 years later, looking back, it's like, oh my God, if we would have known, like it would have been so different.
I love seeing little Jeff and little Seb in
Yeah,
the
right?
documentary because
I see our kids. When I see us that young, I'm like, you look like your kids, I look like my daughter.
But a crazier version of our
Yeah,
kids,
obviously.
because they would never dare, like dream that big and sort of like, stop their whole lives for that project, I see a lot of wonder in our eyes. I see a lot of determination, because this documentary is a lot about friendship, but it's also about hard work and perseverance and grit, and we were insane to think that it would actually work.
Was there any fear in releasing something like this that felt intimate? Was there anything that you were guys actually, this is off limits, like we don't want to include this footage or this part of the story? Like, was there any of that?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think it was important for us to show more than we'd ever shown before. But we had to put the brakes in a few spots. Like, let's not show this too much, because that's not what Simple Plan is about. Like, it's part of Simple Plan, but that's not what the story is. So I think since the beginning of the band, we've shown basically the highlight reel of the good stuff that's happened to us, whether it was in our early day social medias or Instagram posts and all that. And with this, we're like, okay, let's show it all. Let's show the ups and downs. Let's show a little bit how we struggle with family work balance, and let's show the harder times that have come with being in this band.
I was just gonna say there were like 6 or 7 versions prior to the one that's out now, right?
And you said it was changing right up until the very last time.
And truthfully, the first one was horrible. Like, it was disastrous.
In what way?
I think it's hard.
It wasn't balanced right.
No, it wasn't balanced right, but I also think it just didn't, the story was not a real representation of what the band was. What happened is that I think the director, and I think he would be in agreement with me, got too close to the band, too close to the project, and sort of lost perspective on what was the story. And I think the story kind of wrote itself when the archives got really analyzed and restructured, because we had so much footage that it's like, how do you go through all of this? Like, how do you pick and choose? So we had someone who actually went in and was like, okay, this is good, actually watch this, because you can't watch 400 hours unless, and how do you pick the best moments? So it took a lot of versions before that story about brotherhood kind of got laid out properly.
Hard
work, yeah.
So after that first cut, were you guys like, oh no, what have we done? Or were you like, we're still committed to this
I was
process?
considering nixing the project.
To be honest, we're like, okay, this
isn't what we thought it was going to be. This isn't.
If this is going to be the movie, there's a lot of notes here. We all had a lot of notes, and eventually, when the thing took shape and became not lighter, but became fun to watch.
Right, exactly.
Of course, drama is interesting, but when it overpowers the rest of the story, then it's like, what am I seeing? What am I taking out of this as a viewer? But once the drama was put back into place, it's just like, okay, obviously ups and downs, and it becomes a fun story.
What was your family and friends' reaction when they first saw it?
It's been good. The reaction's been great. Honestly, I think it's a fun story, and there's a lot in there that people have not realized that you go through when you're just like a bunch of dudes trying to make it in the crazy world, but still want to keep a handle on things. We've always been in the driver's seat. We're very DIY from the punk rock attitude that we brought over from our influences, and that comes with a lot of interesting stories, but also challenges. And for people to see that, they're like, wow, I didn't know. Right. That's great. And very positive response.
Yeah, my older friends were like, I really thought that you blew up overnight. and you know, like this whole thing, because we were pretty young when it happened, you know, but people don't see the, you know, the before you actually get on TV and you know, you get exposed. When it comes out, everybody's like, oh, okay, well, you know, they're huge right away. And
Which we are.
Yeah. And my friends that are a bit like more recent, you know, last 10, 15 years, which is not recent, but it's, you know, given the history of the band, they're like, you were very snotty when you were young. You were like, you were such a, you were like, you know, like a little cocky,
that's
perhaps.
amazing.
And they were like, what changed? What happened? I'm like, well, you know, you grow.
mature.
You do something long
mature.
enough too, and you go through experiences, the ups and downs, you see it all.
My son, he was like, Dad, you were naked for half of the documentary. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, with your kids, did they even realize like what like you guys went through to be? Because obviously they're like, oh, these are my parents, but like, did they realize what Simple Plan went through to get to this stage?
No.
I think now they do.
Like now they're watching it, they're like,
having
that was a whole different life before me.
Having it in movie, because no matter how many times you tell them, they won't. But if it's a movie, then the
they
kids
get
will get it. Yeah.
But it's crazy. And another thing we lived, which was very interesting, is we had showings and stuff and Q&As with fans. And after the documentary aired, like, people's attitude towards us changed. It made me realize how powerful television is. People were like, oh, you guys are huge. You know, but nothing had changed since the Q&A and the showing, but it's just crazy. It has a lot of effect on people.
Yeah, and when people can visually see it, like you're saying, it just adds a whole other layer.
Yeah.
And then let's also talk about the music, because like we said, you're releasing the soundtrack. Oh, and that drops this Friday. Not to get so technical
Yeah,
with dates.
okay.
Releasing the soundtrack this
That's
Friday.
totally Sebastian's world.
There's a new song coming out this Friday called
Yes.
Nothing Changes. That's
Yes.
about the past 25 years, basically,
Yeah.
about the documentary. And then, you know, when they were building the story of the band, like the early days, what type of music do you put there? You put on the early demos, and that's songs that never made it onto the first album. But we decided, it's like, you know what, they're good enough. People are gonna get
But it was
you
more
know?
than that. You redesigned some of the
I did,
music.
yeah, so-
Sebastian got really involved. Well, he did the whole thing. Like,
For the scoring, yes. So I was part of like all the ambiance and all the score of the film that was me working on it, and then the soundtrack that's coming out. It's like basically the Simple Plan greatest hits with some of the like very early on demos. So you'll be able to tell the difference between the old version of I Do Anything and the new version of I Do Anything.
And that's genius, because I feel like the fans love this stuff. Like, as you know, when you have these lifelong fans to get to reimagine their favorite songs in different ways, what has been the fan reaction to that so far? I know that the full soundtrack isn't out, but just to see it in the documentary.
I think it's been good. I think a lot of people have had the tendency, especially.
I didn't hear about it all that much, to
No?
be honest. Sorry, man.
No, it's good. It's good. I mean, this is like people
But
are like.
post Friday, it's not out
People are
yet.
like, unreleased.
Yeah, it's like, it's
Yeah. They're very curious, very interesting. And I remember for myself back in the Napster days, when there was a song that wasn't on the album that was labeled by an artist that I liked, we were just like, oh, this is my new favorite song.
Right,
It's
it's
so
always
much
so
better
exciting.
than all the other ones, you
Yeah.
know, for some reason. But even if it wasn't. But like, I guess we'll see, you know. I think people are curious to see what we sounded like before we were like Simple Plan that they know.
Okay, let's talk about new music too as well, because Avril Lavigne and you guys collabing on Young and Dumb. And this is your first studio track collab,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Obviously you've done live collabs, but this is the first studio track collab.
Yes, finally.
Yes, I can't believe, that's what I was like, I can't believe this. But tell me about this track and working with Avril in this capacity.
Well, I mean, it's been years. We've been talking about it for years. So it's like, hey, let's do a song together. Yeah. But, you know, it never happens.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Avril, right before, so we've been on tour with her for the last 2 summers. We just finished a tour with her. And right before this leg of the tour, she was like, let's write a song together. We're like, yes.
You're like,
well,
finally,
this
it's
time, let's
happening.
do it for real.
Book a
And-
studio, will show up, you know.
Yeah, so you know, we got in the studio together. She had like some amazing ideas. I love the little ad libs that she throws out there. It's
Yeah.
really cool and hip, you know. And we recorded the song together. It came out really good. And she's like, I want to put this out in 2 weeks. We're like, okay, let's do it, you know? So it was like, it was so funny when I got into the studio, the producer was like, you have half an hour to record the guitars. I'm like, okay, I'll try. So I got half an hour. He came back. He's like, I like what you did. You get an extra half hour.
You're like, perfect.
Like, all right, now I can do my
now
thing.
we're
you know?
going. Oh, I love that.
And every
It's
night we
fun.
get on stage with her to perform it on the tour, and it's a lot of fun.
So
It really
fun.
was
And
a
then
lot
you
of
guys
fun.
are about to go on tour again. Wait, no, this is
Yeah.
this Bull
Oh,
in the
yeah.
303. Yeah, this is it. And Lolo. Okay, so
Life
tell
on
us,
the road.
Yeah, guys, you guys.
Crazy.
I know, right? What is it like for those people? Obviously, you have your diehard fans. For those people watching that have never been to a Simple Plan show, never seen you on stage, what could they expect?
It's a greatest hits party. really is what it is. Like from the first album to the most recent stuff that we've put out, we really want to put on the best show that we can. We want to give the audience what they came for. So we're keeping some of the old songs for the end. And
But
like,
we take for granted, that party atmosphere. But when I see other people's shows, a lot of artists are very mysterious and sort of serious. For us, it's a really big party.
Yeah.
A
Dance
lot
with
of
us.
energy, a lot of energy. Obviously, we are celebrating all the songs, but it is about like, personality. There's a lot of, interaction, like literal, lots of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But it's about fun. It's a really like fun, lighthearted show.
I can guess like which songs probably get the crowd the most fired up. But for you, what's the most fun for you to be on stage, look at the crowd, they're singing, they're dancing? What song always hits?
I've been loving Welcome to My Life in the past couple of years. Like I think there's a real strong connection there. I love looking at the front row. You can tell who in the crowd that song made an impression on when they were younger. Like you can really tell when you start playing it. What about you?
For me, Kid has been a surprise song because it's funny, over the years I was like, we can't be 30 and play I'm Just a Kid. Like, we got to stop playing I'm Just a Kid. And
was
that
right.
TikTok challenge, yeah, I was clearly right.
Yeah, obviously.
But now it's like, it almost took a different feel altogether, right?
Totally.
Yeah, so it became this soundtrack to a challenge that's just beautiful. People throwing back to great memories, or, memories that are important to them.
Yep.
And people love that song. And it's also about like sort of reconnecting with the youth, just a younger feeling, right? So I see it in people's faces. They're smiling, they're jumping around, and I'm like, well, yeah, that song makes sense.
But 20 years later, there's a whole new meaning to that song. It seems
Totally.
it's a lot deeper. Like whatever you thought your issues were when you were a teenager, like in adulthood, like it's amplified or it's double. Like it's It's
We have a T-shirt. I'm just a kid and my life is a nightmare, right? But we crossed the kid and we put adult on it, and it's like
That's
it's
so real.
still the
It's
same.
so
I
real.
know, right?
And for you guys playing shows your whole life now for so long, like what still gets you excited about going on stage and playing? Like what is the best part about touring for you in this stage?
Oh man.
I'm still a kid. Like I know it sounds cheesy. I know, but like really in my mind, like I'm living that dream. Like I used to like sit, on the edge of my bed practicing guitar for hours, and I was in my mind I was on a big stage. So I have to remind myself it's like it's happening now. It's there, and you see all those smiles, and sometimes you get on stage and you don't feel like going. Like either you have something personal that stops you, you're tired, whatever it is. But when you do get on stage, like you can't just be neutral about it. Like the crowd is insane. They're all going off. The energy's great. I'm looking at my bandmates. They're all like going for it.
Having fun.
It's cool. It's really, really cool. So I'm living the dream still 25 years later. I'm pinching myself every time.
That's amazing.
I'll connect to a few people that are having a good time in the crowd, and that's enough for me to have a good time. I'll say like, "You're having fun. I'm having fun."
And I'm
This
sure
is
you probably
happening.
see a lot of regulars too. Like you see your fans that come to a lot of the shows.
That is true.
We are the Grateful Dead of pop punk. Like it's no joke.
Well
People-
said. Well said.
Yeah, it's crazy. We have fans. One of our fans told us it was her 100th show.
Oh my
That's
God.
crazy,
That's
right?
crazy.
Pretty sweet.
That's crazy.
She traveled all around to see Simple Plan. But for her, it was sort of like I'm seeing the world while listening to my favorite band.
No, you know what? I do actually love that. It's like, yeah, go to every single city,
Yeah.
and just throw a show in there too. That's amazing. That's dedication. Well, it's so fun to see the fans react to this, and thank you guys for sharing this part of the world with us too. This is so exciting. So hope you guys feel celebrated. So everyone, the kids in the crowd, it's out now. New soundtrack out Friday. And this might already be live, so it's already out now. So everyone go watch. Jeff, Sebastian, thank you guys so much for being here.
Thanks
Can
a
we give it
lot.
up one more time for Simple Plan in our studio?
Thank you.
We're so excited for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Did you like that video? You can check out a few more over here, and don't forget to subscribe to iHeart right here. And if you're already a longtime fan, make sure you ring the bell down below so you don't miss a single video. We'll see you next time.